Hey everybody, it's the long-awaited 23-0 72 Walkabout review. Long-awaited mainly by me because I have been super excited to crack into this tent and start working on it, get it mounted, so that's our next project. But I figured I'd start and kind of use this video a little bit as a review for the tent for anybody else that might be considering 23-0 for their tent. So, because I can't remember crap anymore, I wrote down kind of why I ended up selecting this tent and what jumped out at me when I was shopping for rooftop tents. So, first thing I was looking for was something all season. I'm hoping to be able to use this 12 months out of the year. I wanted something simple. I'm the newbie and I need something that was going to be easy, fast to set up, not a whole lot of moving pieces, and just simple. And I wanted something when I was looking at how I was building out the trailer. I wanted something that was going to work on a 2-bar system. So the weight of the overall tent was important to me, and so that kind of meant I compromised on going super high end on the material of the tent, but still found something that was really high quality and stayed at a reasonable weight overall. Without the Annex, the tent is 165 pounds, so really reasonable weight, works really well on my 2-bar system, and really happy with that piece of it. Next was size of the bed. So 23-0 has a whole bunch of different sizes to their tents. They actually have a few lines of tents as well. I was looking at this and the Breezeway. Ultimately, this was definitely the better all-season tent, and what jumped out at me first and foremost when I started shopping for tents was the large bed size. So this is the 72 inch, which means it has a 72 by 96 inch bed. They call it their Cow King. So really cool. Love that bed at this price point. So speaking of price points, the tent is $21.50. This is as of November 2021, and the Annex is $349. The other thing I started looking at was reputations, reviews, warranties. 2-year warranty on it. Saw a ton of great reviews. A lot of the people I respect and started to follow and learn things from in the overlanding community were rocking the 23-0s, so that honed it down as well. Talking about materials, so the tent is a 280 GSM, so I had to Google what GSM meant. That's grams per square meter. Basically, it's the weight of the material that the tent is using. The higher the number, the higher the weight. The higher the number, the thicker, higher quality, tougher that it is, but also the heavier that it is. So I've seen these go up as high as 600. Again, I was looking for something more middle of the road. I wanted to try and keep the overall tent a reasonable weight. I can tell you I have not opened this up yet, so everything I'm telling you is what I found when I did my research. I'll tell you if it lives up to that. But the touching and feeling it, feels really high quality so far. Again, this is as much as I've seen, so you're gonna kind of go through this with me. It's all ripstop material. The tent is a poly cotton, so it's a cotton that is blended with polyester fabric, and those two are blended together. So obviously cotton is the old school. It's the tents our grandpas used. They're tough, they last forever, they hold water, they're heavy. So the polyester adds some strength, adds some water proofness to it, and so it's a great, the poly cotton is a great material for the rooftop tents. The Rainfly and the Annex are a 210D. I had to Google that too. I believe it's pronounced denier, but it is again is weight, and it's the weight of the threads within a certain size of the measurement. So higher the number, the heavier. Higher the number, the higher quality. But also, depending on what it's made from, this is Oxford, again a cotton blend. You can get a lot of strength without having to be high on that weight number. So 23-0 knocks that one out of the park as well. High quality metal pieces within it. Again, based on my research, I found that 23-0 uses really high quality metal moving parts and light metal moving parts. So really leaned their way as a result of that. Mattress. So again, going back to that large size bed, I needed that to make the wife happy. She loves big beds. Also was looking for a high quality, comfortable mattress. Did not want to have to worry about putting a mattress topper or anything else on this. This is a 3-inch thick rebound mattress material. You can find it on 23Zero's site where they show a demonstration of it. It's not like the memory foam. Memory foam actually kind of like you squish it and it holds squished. The rebound squishes and then bounces right back up. So really high quality material that they use on their mattresses. The cover and the base of the Annex. So the base of the Annex here is the same material as the cover, which is a 600 GSM PVC. Super thick, super high quality. Obviously covers on rooftop tents don't last forever, but I was hoping to get one that lasted a long time. My rooftop tent's gonna be on my trailer, parked outside. I'm gonna cover it, but I still want that cover on it to be strong, durable, resist the sun. Same thing with the floor of my Annex. I really wanted something high quality there. So 600 GSM PVC that they're using on that. Attention to detail. I could tell from the videos and a lot of the reviews I read that 23Zero's got a lot of attention to detail. The stitching, the zippers, the clips, those types of things they didn't skimp on. So at this price point, you're getting really, really high quality elements that I don't think we always think about when we're looking at buying something. We're super high, super excited about something, but man, when that zipper breaks, or the material rips, or the poles bend, it doesn't matter. All the other bells and whistles that something has. It's those little attention to details, those little quality parts that are going to go a long way. So heard a lot about 23Zero and their quality and those little details. Again, we'll find out. I'll tell you how I like it. And another thing that really grabbed me, one of the last things that really grabbed me was the Walkabout has a ton of windows. So their Breezeway series I really like because it's got a lot of windows. You can open it up and almost feel like you're kind of in a mesh tent. Great for summertime, but not so great in the wintertime when it's raining. The Walkabout actually has 2 gigantic moonroof ceiling windows, as well as some nice size rear and side windows too. So really liked the design, kind of the best of all worlds in that respect. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at. For anybody that hasn't watched any of the previous videos, I'll be camping with myself, my wife, and a 13-year-old son. So the Annex was really important to me when I looked for a rooftop tent. I wanted that overhang on the front end of it that would accommodate a large Annex area. We're gonna put a cot down in the lower section for my son. Wanted a little bit of a changing room, some area for potentially cooking coffee in the morning, that kind of thing. So really excited about the size of the Annex area as well. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to open up the tent. We're going to get all of the hardware out of it, and we're going to prepare it to mount onto the rack. So what I'm going to do now is pull everything from the inside out. If you look at the instructions on the 23Zero, it has a ladder that will have to be attached prior to installing on the rack, and that's about it. They used to actually have you have to install the mounting rails, which I'll probably show you. But if you're looking at old videos, the instructions will tell you that you have to mount the mounting rails, but 23Zero now takes care of that for you themselves. So it has a 1-inch deep mounting rail that is on the base of this. It's got a slotted rack system. So you'll see here in a little bit, but it's going to have 2 bolts that slide in here, a bracket that goes over the crossbars on the rack. So 2, 4, 6, 8 bolts, 4 brackets go over the rack. So we're going to open it up, pull all the hardware out, and get it prepared to mount. Here is the ladder. Some sort of mesh protection there of some sort. Here is my cover. Here is my hardware pack. Here are the window bars. I forget. I think that's what they call them. Basically used to put up the window covers. This is the snow bar. I'm just going to go ahead and leave that inside for the time being. I think, actually I'm going to go ahead and take it out. I think that's about it. So, I'm going to go ahead close this guy back out. Lay it back down. And we'll come around to the rest of this when we're ready to mount it. See you soon. Okay, quick note on attaching the ladder. So one, when you set it up, you're gonna set it up with the stickers facing up. The reason is that you'll see there's a nice bumpers on the bottom of that so that when you're driving and this is mounted, it rests down on the bumpers. Two, when you mount these, you're gonna mount them with the arrow kind of facing inwards towards the rest of the rooftop tent. Three, not in the instructions, is the fact that, and it probably is just a newbie thing, but you need to kind of open up the tent enough to go in here and open up the zipper so that you have access to the other sides of these holes for the bolts. Otherwise, you sit here and you're going, there's fabric in the way, I don't know what to do, and the instructions don't mention it. Probably self-explanatory, but I thought I would point that out for anybody else stumbling on the same issues. And then lastly, you do want to make sure that this gray washer is in between the ladder bracket and the bolt, and that's what's going to give it its ability to pivot nicely and don't over tighten your bolts. So anyways, just a quick update on ladder install. Hey, so three quick things. Last night I kind of walked you through the reasons why I purchased the 23-0 Walkabout. There was a couple things I forgot, and then a couple things I want to show you about the install, and then I'll show you when we've got it all wrapped up a little bit later. I got a buddy coming over who's going to help me lift it onto the rack on the trailer, and we'll get it installed. So. Couple things that I forgot to mention when I was talking about reviews I had read and things that jumped out at me about 23-0. One of the things is that a lot of rooftop tents use a metal plate base to their tent. Super strong, which is great, but it does create some condensation issues where you can actually get condensation under your mattress within the tent. 23-0 actually uses a reinforced plastic with a very solid, about 1 inch thick of insulation in between the two reinforced plastic layers. So that keeps that condensation from happening underneath your mattress in your tent. The other thing, I can't believe I forgot this, they have a proprietary light suppression technology, LST, and what it is it actually is a blackout on the inside of your tent. So when we get it installed later, I'll show you what that looks like, but bottom line is it means you can take a nap in the middle of the day, you can sleep in if you want to sleep in, and it also gives you the ability of temperature control. So it helps keep heat in and it helps block heat out when you're in warm temperatures. So Wanted to mention those things, and then lastly, I did want to show that I am moving forward. I decided to replace most of the hardware, basically bolts, washers, nuts, with grade 8 bolts, washers, nuts on these. So I'm using a 2-inch. I believe this is going to be darn close to the length that I need. It might just be a teeny bit short, so we'll see. But I'm doing a 5/16 18 thread, grade 8, 2-inch bolt, lock washer or lock nut, and then I'm actually doing two washers. I'm doing a large washer and then a small washer on top of that, so I can really kind of crank down on that and give it some security and really spread that weight against the racking plate. So those are the updates now. I'll show you when we get it put on the trailer. Thanks. All right, well, there she is. Rooftop tent is mounted. I won't lie, I spent the afternoon kind of tinkering and playing and opening with it and figuring some stuff out. So I decided what I'm going to do is a setting up video, and I'll show it after everything gets, or I'll show it as I set it up, and some things that the newbie ran into as I was working on it. One thing, if that does look a little crooked, it's actually not crooked. What it is, it's a little thicker on our left side, or the driver's side of that, than it is on the passenger side. Just kind of the way the tent folds up, it actually leaves plenty of room in there for bedding and things like that. So that's why that right side or passenger side is a little bit thinner. But everything seemed to work out really well. I ended up having to go to longer screws. These are 3 inches. I probably could have gotten away with 2.5, but but I had 3s, so I went with those. They do not go in an area where anybody's head's gonna be, so I'm not too worried about the extra screw length there. You'll notice that I did crank those down with just a little bit of flex in the bracket, just to make sure that they are good and tight. The other thing is that the brackets come with 4 holes. So I wasn't able to go into the 2 closest, and I wasn't able to go into the 2 farthest. That would have been a little too far. So it does give you the ability of staggering how you put the bolts into that bracket. And so I used the far front and the front of the 2 back holes. So, but everything went well. It is super sturdy. I am really happy with it. Yeah, so that's the rooftop tent installation. Like I said, next video I'll do a setting up of the tent, point out a couple things that jumped out at me, but really happy with things so far. Thanks, everybody.